And welcome to Samantha's Kitchen. I hope you're all doing well. Today's recipe, I absolutely love this recipe, and it's my version of chicken with saffron rice, and it's dead easy to make. You will need a few more spices than what your store cupboard at home may have, so you might have to get a few on the next journey out to your local supermarket. But it's definitely worth doing, 120%. I'm going to make mine today plant version, and we are going to try today, and I'm really quite looking forward to this. We're trying today the vegan butcher, what the cluck, and just have a look at this. How much does that look like actual chicken? It's quite scary actually looking at it. It's a 160 gram portion. And it's a soya-based chicken style chunk, high in protein and great source of fibre, so we will be using that. Then you will also need a good cupful of parsley. This is flat leaf parsley. And for the vegetables, you will need a cupful of mushrooms, any mushrooms that you want, a medium onion, medium to finely chopped. You will need about 6 or 7 olives. I've got olives that have garlic in them. You will need a decent sized pepper. I have used half a yellow pepper and half a red pepper. You will need 4 or 5 tomatoes. You will need a mild chilli. I've got a mild red chilli here. You will need a tiny amount of ginger, only that much ginger, 2 small pieces, and then you will need a good maybe 8 or 9 garlic cloves. For the spices, you will need a vegetable stock pot, and here we go, here's our spices. So you will need half a teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of sumac, half a teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of hazelnut, half a teaspoon of mint, and then a pinch of saffron. I'm using quite good saffron. The better the saffron, the less you'll need. So yeah, it's always a good tip. If you buy if you see a really big tub of it and you think, oh great, you'll probably need to use a bit more because it won't be as intense in terms of flavour. You will need 300 grams of plum tomatoes, not 400, 300. And then you'll need some rice. You'll need 3/4 cupful of rice. I'm using white long grain rice. So 3/4 cupful of long grain rice here, and this has already been washed thoroughly, so there is no starch left in it. You'll also need some oil. I'm going to use spray oil for this. So it can be mega healthy if you want, or you can use other oils. Whatever oil you've got, you can use. You'll also need some salt later for this dish. So yeah, let's get cooking. let's start this recipe. Okay, I have added my spray oil. I have used this. I've added about 20 sprays of this, just like that. If you wanted to use olive oil, add 1 tablespoon of olive oil, or alternatively, if you can get this, use this if you prefer. Okay, I've put the pan on a medium heat, and what we're going to add first is we're going to add these seeds here. These are cumin seeds, and what we want them to do is just fry a little bit beforehand to make sure that we get that flavour infused into the oil. So I'm just going to turn this up a little bit, like so. And then once that's had a couple of minutes infusing, we'll then add our onions. So as you can see, the cumin seeds are bubbling away. Give them a couple of minutes and keep stirring them around. You don't want them to burn. Okay, so that has had a couple of minutes, and what we're going to do now, oh sorry, I forgot to mention you'll need half a lemon and half a small orange. Can't believe I forgot to mention them. So add your onions now, and we're going to cook these. We're going to cook these until they're translucent. We're not going to go as far as what you would do with a curry or anything, but we're just going to cook these until they're nice and translucent, and then we are going to add our garlic and our ginger and chilies, and I cannot wait, but I get to use my new pestle and mortar for this. Okay, while the onions are cooking away, this is my new pestle and mortar. I have done everything what it says to do with it, had to grind things up before and prepare, and I have to say this is amazing. If anybody has one of these at home, they'll totally know, but this is a game changer in terms of being able to actually make things into a real fine paste and do it the traditional way. You can see it's all finely ground down now, and when your onions are translucent, we're going to add this in. So the onions now are translucent, they're just turning brown, just very slightly. Now we're going to add our ingredients that we have just ground down from our amazing pestle and mortar. I highly recommend this. It was, I think, $24.99 from Amazon. It's really good, it's really heavy, it's brilliant. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this fry for another 5 minutes, and then we're going to add our spices. Okay, this has had another 5 minutes, and it's time to add all the rest of these spices and give that a good stir around, and we're going to let that cook for another minute, and then we're going to add our peppers, mushrooms, tomatoes and olives. Okay, in goes our peppers, our mushrooms, our olives. Now we'll leave the orange and lemon till a little bit later, and we're going to add our rice as well now, along with our stock cube, and then we're going to add our tin of tomatoes and some water. Now what I want you to do is, if you've ever made a risotto, I want you to treat the rice the same as you would with a risotto, little and often with the water, adding the water. So we're just going to give this a good mix in like so, just like this, and then we're going to add our rice. It's been wet. Smaller spoon. Let's get all this rice in, like so. And then with the same cup, we're going to fill this with water, because we're going to use this cup. But before we use this cup to add the water, I want you to add the tomatoes. So as you can see, I have just mixed all the ingredients together. It's looking absolutely amazing. And now what we do is we add our water little and often. Now at this point, the same as what we're going to do now, is we're going to add our chicken. You would also add your chicken as well. You could have browned your chicken off first, or you could put it in and let it cook in all the juices and things like that to infuse more. So we're going to add our chicken in now, and then we're going to do our water little and often, as you would a risotto. So let's get our chicken in like so, and we'll just add a little bit of water now, And then we'll just keep stirring it continuously until we get all that rice beautiful and just at the perfect kind of rice al dente. So a good tip that I like to do to cook that rice better is to use a lid for your pan. Keep it on medium to low and keep an eye on it. Remember, it's not like risotto rice. You don't want the rice to go smushy and broken up. So you just, when you stir it, you don't stir it loads, but you just stir it quickly and just make sure you're not breaking anything up. So we'll come back in 5 minutes to see how it's looking. Remember, always keep an eye on the water. If it goes dry, it won't be nice. So just let me show you how it's looking so far. Now it's up to you how much water you want to put in it. You can actually have it quite soupy if you wanted it to be more soupy, but traditionally it's a drier rice dish. But look at that. Oh, it's cooking away. It smells so nice. It's so lovely, and you can have it hot and cold, so you can have it cold for your lunches next day, for work or whatever, and it makes so much and it's so lovely. Okay, we're about halfway through now, and what I want you to do is I want you to put in half of the parsley, because what we're going to do with the parsley, we're going to have some that's cooked in and infused, and then some that's just been put in for the last couple of minutes during the end. It just adds a different dimension to the dish. Other people might want to put it in all at the end, but I prefer to do it this way. So we're just going to add this parsley in like that now. And then we will add our half of baby orange, a really tiny orange. Just a tiny bit, it's a really dinky orange. If you put in bigger than that, it will not taste right. And then half a lemon, like so, into this dish. I don't know what Alexa's going on about. She just randomly speaks to me at every moment in time, and I don't know why. So next up, we will be putting in our salt, and we will need a teaspoon of salt. And we'll give that a good stir. And then we'll put the lid back on and keep an eye. You never ever want it to get less than that kind of liquid at the bottom until your rice is close to cook, and that's where you reduce it. But yeah, put the lid on and we give it another couple of minutes and come back and check on it. Okay, I've just tasted the dish and I'm gonna add a tiny bit of sugar in. So when you think that the lemon is a little bit too pronounced, it's always good to use and offset it with sugar. So I am gonna just put in a little bit of sugar, not much, just a teaspoonful like this. You don't need much. And I'm just gonna mix that in and let that cook through. It's just a little bit too sharp for me. My family like a little bit more of a sweetness to it. So yeah, so we'll mix that in and keep bubbling away. Can you see how amazing this is looking so far? Oh, it is out of this world. Oh, it smells so nice. I mean, look at how the chicken's holding up. The chicken is just like there. Oh wow. So keep cooking this until the rice is nearly done. I'd say there's a couple of minutes now for my rice. So at this point I want you to add the rest of the parsley in. We're not gonna cook it as little as what we would coriander. We're gonna do a couple more minutes on it because it is a powerful herb, is parsley, but we want that flavour through it. So we've got another 5 minutes to go, so we'll give that a good mix in. All our ingredients is in now, and Oh, it'll be time to serve very soon. It's just got a little bit more water to reduce. At this stage though, if you leave it, it will stick to the pan. So just keep moving it ever so slightly so you don't break your rice, but there you go. Okay, this is done. It's had another 5-6 minutes more after I've put in the last of the parsley. And look at this, how the water has just completely evaporated. So there's no water now. As you can see there's no water. The rice is cooked. I've checked the rice. I've added the right amount of sugar. Oh, it is so nice. It is so lemony and saffrony, and it's beautiful. So I'm going to turn this off the heat, and I think it's time to serve. Are we ready for this? All these fragrant herbs and spices and that beautiful plant-based chicken. Look at that. Oh. Plant-based chicken and saffron rice. Honestly, you'll love it. You'll love it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification button. And stay safe everyone, and see you next week. Bye.